real, because it was like, wow, my childhood friend actually passed away, you know, like knowing somebody for real that you grew up with, sort of, in a sense, is gone now, you know. But she was in great spirits.
Welcome to the I Just Feel Like podcast, where we drop new audio every Tuesday morning and new videos every Tuesday evening.
You can subscribe to our YouTube channel by typing in the search I Just Feel Like podcast.
If you like this episode, at the end, please give us a 5-star rating and leave a review of your favorite part of the podcast. I'm Ramona.
And I'm Mary. And welcome to the I Just Feel Like podcast. Cheers,
girls.
Yo, I cannot.
That's crazy stuff. So guys, for today's episode, we want to have a heavier topic to discuss. We just want to give a little disclaimer acknowledging that grief and loss are difficult topics to discuss, and that we know many of you guys have experienced them in different ways.
Yes, and to just share how common grief is, we did want to let you guys know that a person dies every 15 minutes every day, and approximately 2.5 million people die each year in the U.S., leaving behind 10 million people who are grieving, which is crazy.
That's insane.
Yeah, like when you think about it, 15 minutes every day is crazy, but I guess like the whole world, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense. But I guess let's get into it. It is going to be a heavier topic, a little sad topic, but I also guess it depends how you view it as well, you know? Mm-hmm. So we did just want to get into the stages of grief to kind of go into our main segment. So there are 5 stages of grief, which are denial, anger, bargaining, depression, and acceptance. That's a lot of shit to go through.
Definitely.
Oh my goodness. But so for the first one, denial, it can look like avoidance, procrastination, easily distracted, and it can feel like shock, numbness, and confusion, which I think a lot of people definitely go through, like when they first realize that they're grieving, and like when a loved one or somebody that they know has passed on. Yeah, I feel like that the shock is just like I can't believe this really happened, you know, especially if it's like sudden and like nothing like was wrong with the person wasn't sick and they just like died randomly, or they were murdered, you know.
Yeah, you're almost like in disbelief.
Yeah, it's crazy still. But the second one, anger.
So anger can feel like frustration, impatience, resentment, embarrassment, rage, and feeling out of control. And I guess all of these emotions honestly can be exploited in different ways. Maybe you're more irritable, so you get frustrated more. You're impatient, so like you just kind of just don't want to deal with people at certain times. You're resenting maybe yourself for how you handle situations with that person in the past.
Damn, that's so true. Yeah. Like how your situation was left off with them. Because I feel like a lot of people go through that as well, where their relationship was probably a little bit rocky before that person passed on. So they're probably feeling all that guilt for like holding that resentment, you know?
Yeah.
That's why I say, yo, honestly, like if you are fighting with somebody, it's easier said than done, especially if it's like big, but like I guess you have to like let it go, you know, and just make sure you're okay.
Definitely.
Yeah, it's hard though. But the third stage would be bargaining, which can feel like guilt, shame, blame, anxiety, insecurity. It can look like you comparing yourself to others, perfectionism, and judgment towards yourself and others. So I guess like we said previously. And the fourth one
is depression, and that can feel like sadness, despair, helplessness, hopelessness, disappointment, feeling overwhelmed. So a lot of that can look like you crying, having reduced social interest. You kind of just don't want to see people. Yeah. You have low energy, and low energy for a long time can also lead into signs of depression, and increased alcohol or drug use. So just overutilizing substances.
Yeah, just using something to cope, even though like those substances are not good for you. You know, I feel like in that moment you don't really give a fuck. It's just like, I need something to make me feel better. So whatever it is, I don't care. Like I'll deal with the consequences after, you know?
It's like what you mentioned just now when you said like you just want to feel numb sort of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like you don't want to feel anything. Ooh,
what was that track?
Which one?
Doctor, anything please.
You know, guys, even though it's a serious topic, you know we're still gonna bust our 1-2 joke. We like to make light of some situations.
For sure.
But the fifth one, you're dumb. But the fifth one would be acceptance. So it can feel like you being courageous and you having pride and wisdom, and you feel like you're good enough now and you kind of just came out on the other side. It can look like you engaging with reality as what it is and being present in the moment and allowing yourself to be vulnerable and tolerate those emotions, for sure. So I guess that can be you coming on the other side, like finally being in those social settings and being okay with being in those social settings and being okay that your loved one has kind of passed on, and realizing that you still kind of have to move forward with your life, you know, for sure. But yes, those are the stages of grief. I don't know if I guess people have to go through all of it, but I feel like with grief as well, I feel like sometimes people don't realize they're grieving. So I guess it can be like the first one, denial. They're in the denial stage for a long period of time. And then like, I feel like it's a whole life process, like with you grieving, like you just go through it your whole life, you know?
Yeah, it comes in waves.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So have you grieved anybody or had any personal experiences of loss or losing somebody close to you?
So I've experienced death, right?
Yeah.
But not near anyone that I've actually had like a personal relationship with. So I've had like my great grandmother pass away, my uncle pass away, 2 of my uncles pass away, but I didn't know them on that. Oh, actually, here's a sensible one. Actually, we have experienced grief, a mutual grief.
Which one?
Carmelina passed away.
Oh yeah. Wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. RP.
Rest in peace for real.
Yeah, we used to go to school with Carmelina. She went to our elementary school as well, and like we were really close with her.
Very.
But she passed away. I don't know when she passed away. Was it when we were in high school or university?
No, it was like
It was
3-4 years ago.
It was recent.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that was unbelievable, honestly. But I think she had some sort of underlying condition.
Yeah.
We can't put her business too much out there.
Yeah, of course. Of
But
course.
yeah, unfortunately she passed on. And it was kind of hard, honestly. It was surreal because it was like, wow, my childhood friend actually passed away, you know, like knowing somebody for real that you grew up with, sort of, in a sense.
Yeah.
Is gone now, you know? But she was in great spirits.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't really have a relationship with her like outside of elementary school.
Yeah.
But every single time that we did have a relationship with her and experiences with her, was what I meant to say, when we were younger, was always positive. Like,
Yeah.
I just remember her cracking jokes. She always came to school with high energy, despite the underlying issues that she was going through. Like, she
Yeah.
always had good energy.
No, she did. She was a vibe, honestly. I was close with her in elementary school.
Yeah,
She
I
was
remember.
Yeah, I remember she was one of my first friends, honestly, when I came to the school.
Oh, yeah?
I remember the memory specifically. Like, I came in, damn, I forgot that bitch. Oh, not that bitch. I forgot that teacher's name. That teacher's name. I forgot that teacher's name still, but we were in grade 1, and I came into the class, and I remember I used to be shy when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And everybody was just sitting on the carpet, and then I came in the class with my mom, and then she was like, come sit beside me. And I was like, oh, that's my dog, bro. And I was like,
Carmelina loved you. Like, that's actually one of the biggest memories that I have of her. Like, how much she loved
I love
you.
that. Yeah, we were close, honestly. We were friends.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so it was sad, but honestly, I didn't really continue that connection with her outside of elementary school. So when I heard it was still a big thing, because I was like, damn, this is somebody that I know. But also it kind of, because I knew she was in good spirits, it was like, okay, like, I'm glad she's not in pain no more. Like, I glad she kind of like moved on, transitioned, you know?
So I guess for that stage for you, like, you were able to accept it.
Yeah, exactly. Acceptance. You're right. Yeah. But yeah, I was able to accept it, honestly. But yeah, RIP to her.
Yeah. For me, when I found out the news, I feel like you said, it felt surreal, because I've never like known somebody like that who's passed away. Everybody else has been like a distant relative that hasn't even lived in the country.
Yeah.
So finding that out, I was just like, damn. And then I was like just going through like my old photos and seeing pictures of us like at our sleepovers and shit. And I'm just like, oh my God, like this is hitting me a little bit different.
Yeah.
But for me, I feel like with real loss, I was kind of just like a little bit numb.
Okay.
You know, I was accepting of it, but like I'm a person who like avoids everything.
Okay.
So it was just like, if I think about this too much, I will cry my eyes out.
Yeah. It's easier, honestly, to just avoid it.
Yeah.
But the thing is, with avoiding it, it always comes back around. That's why I feel like it's important to kind of like face your emotions and face your feelings head on, you know, because you don't know when that shit will hit you. Like, it can hit you randomly when you're like super happy or like in a super good position in your life, and then you're like, whoa, like where did this come from? You know?
Yeah.
So, but that's why the stages are there, I guess. You just have to go through it.
Very true.
Yeah, but I would say for me, I guess the same. Like, I never really had a close personal family or friend that has like passed away. Well, of course, like distant relatives, like you said, like grandparents, aunts, uncles, a lot of like them have passed on. But because like we didn't really grow up with them, it's kind of like you don't feel that connection, you know? Like I feel it like for my parents, you know? Like when I see my parents going through it, then I feel it. But like for them specifically, it's just like, it's sad, but like, I don't know, never really had that connection, so it didn't really hit me too much, you know? But I did have an experience of loss.
Let's talk about it.
Yeah, it was a hard time for sure. But it wasn't losing a person. Well, in a sense, I guess it is losing a person. So basically with my brother and like his brain aneurysm. Yeah, so my brother had a brain aneurysm, and like that was the hardest time of my life for sure. Basically the doctor said he wasn't gonna make it, he was gonna die. And then once he made it through the surgery, they were like, no, he's not gonna wake up from the coma, he's gonna be a vegetable, da da da. So it was a tough time, honestly.
I remember.
Yeah, and shout out you, fam. Honestly, you probably don't even know this, but while like we were in the hospital, he was in the hospital for months, and like I was there every day. And like while I was in the hospital, I'm finna cry.
Don't cry, fam.
I can't do this. I can't do this.
We had a whole discussion last night. I'm like, yo, Mary, try your best, because we know that this is a sensible topic, y'all, you know?
I know. So while I was in the hospital, I was there every day for sure with the family and just like trying to help him with his recovery and like, you know, praying on him from his coma and shit. We used to talk every day. I don't know if you remember this, but well, girl, we talk every day all the time.
I know. So, you know, I'm just like, yeah.
But we used to talk every day, and like, I stopped working, I stopped going to school, and like the conversations we would have, we wouldn't really talk about like what I was going through in that moment. You kind of like distracted me from it, you know, which really helped me. It was like, yeah, like I know I'm in the hospital and I know I'm going through this on this side, but like you would tell me what's going on in your life, you would tell me what's going on in the outside world, and it would just like, it would bring me kind of back to reality and like just give me something where I can escape, like escapism, you know?
Yeah.
So I reach you for that, sis, for sure.
I don't know, fam.
Yeah, of course.
But that time I remember, sorry to cut you off,
of course.
but that was a very difficult time.
Yeah.
And I remember telling you on the phone, like, fam, like, your brother is going to make it.
Yeah.
I was so, like, there's very little things that I'm certain of in life, but when I can feel something, like, I'm almost getting goosebumps right now.
Yeah.
It's like a secondhand instincts where, like, I did not even want you to stress because you were going through the emotions during that time.
Yeah.
And I just knew for a fact, like, the manifestation of your family is so real, like how you guys were praying for him on his back, being by his side, like your bro was gonna make it.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what we felt as well. Like when the first day when it happened and he was in the surgery, like we had so much support, like the whole community showed out, and we were all in the waiting room and we were just like telling stories, cracking jokes. Like it didn't even feel like we were in the hospital, kind of. It was just like, we're just here, you know? So in that moment when like everybody was there, I was like, no, like there's no way the doctor is gonna come right now and say like he didn't make it through the surgery, you know? Because you feel like, I don't know, you just feel that energy, the support, you know? So thank God he made it, y'all. He's all good now. He's still recovered, period. Got me my niece, Michaela. Love you, sis. But, period. But it wasn't easy, though, you know? And still to this day, like, when I still think about it, it's still kind of hard to me to, like, process and understand because even though he did recover and even though he is at where he's at, we still kind of lost a part of him in a sense, which is like, it's not me grieving, but I guess it is grieving that part of him that we lost, you know, because he's not the same. So it was hard to deal with that, honestly, but I guess I'm at the acceptance stage now where it's just like, it is kind of what it is. At least he's here. I'm just grateful he's here, you know? That's all I can do. So yeah, it's hard though, I won't lie.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And like you said, you're at the acceptance stage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's all about just reinforcing his new identity into your new spirit now.
Exactly. Because we have to just accept it, you know?
Yeah.
Because we would always think like, damn, like where's this personality, how he was before, like where's I don't want to say his name, like where's that person, you know? And we would always talk about it with my family, like he's just not the same, like, and we would talk about it with him, like what's going on, what's this, and he understands too that he's not the same, which kind of made me accept it as well, where it's like, okay, you know, you lost this sense of yourself as well, and you can accept it, so who am I to not accept it, you know? So that's how it has to go, y'all.
You know, I feel like everything kind of happens for a reason.
Yeah, exactly.
And I feel like God wanted to reinvent your brother in a way that y'all don't understand. Maybe he doesn't even understand, but it's for the betterment. and for the fact that he was able to still bring the miracle of life after facing such a difficult adversity.
Yeah.
That's a blessing, and he's here for a reason, and he's here for a purpose. Pete has not yet fulfilled that. Like, he still has so much life to live with a brand new baby girl at that.
Period. No, you're 100% right, fam, because that's exactly what we were saying too. Honestly, it's like, you're still here, like, you have a reason to be here, you know, like, it wasn't your time yet, so like, fulfill that, you know, try and fulfill that. So shout out, love you, man. But
shout out you for real.
But I wanted to get into like how we kind of experience grief and how different people like experience grief and loss, because like we're spiritual, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, well, I know, well, I'll speak for me. I feel like the way I look at death is like, I'm not afraid of death, because I know like I know what kind of like happens after. It's just like a transference, you know. So for me, it's like, yeah, you move on, you just move into your next life. But like the way society also sees death is just like the person's dead, you know, dead and gone, which is difficult, because even though the way that I see death and like I understand that, I feel like it's still hard for me to grasp losing people, because I'm like, no, like I understand where they're going, and I understand like they're gonna be okay, but it's just like, how can I lose my people in this life, you know? Like I still want them in my life. So I feel like it's kind of hard, honestly. I have struggled with it, because it's like, yeah, I get it in the spiritual sense, but also like I'm still fucking mad, you know?
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
I don't want to have to lose you, especially if it's like, if it really wasn't your time, you know? I feel like you see death the same way, right?
Yeah, I see death like that from what Mary said, like the spiritual point of view. Africans, Jamaicans, we also have like that very similar spiritual context in which we see like death as like a celebration of the person moving on to like their next life.
Yeah.
You're gonna be at peace, you're with God, like every single cruelty that's a part of this world you no longer will experience.
Yeah, exactly.
And then in contrast, like what you mentioned as well, society wants people in general to just view death as like, it's a hardship, you need to grieve every single day, you need to succumb to substance abuse, like you can't move forward, life is gone for you. But like, life is not over until it's over, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because it's, I mean, you're still moving on, right?
Yeah.
And like, if you have that thinking of, you know, we're all here for a reason and I have to like fulfill my purpose, it's sad to say, but like, you just kind of have to keep moving forward. And I'm sure that your loved one would want you to continue to move forward, you know, not remain stagnant and just be like depressed, which I understand you have to go through it, but like, as long as you come out of it at the end, you know?
For sure.
Yeah, but I always say like, because it's so hard for me to accept, I always say like, I want my loved ones to like die. Like I need to die before them. I never want to experience grief. Like I would rather just die, even though it kind of sounds selfish, because like the way they'll experience grief, you know,
would be the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But it's like, for me, I'd rather just go still, instead of like not having my people them in my life, because I don't think I can handle it, honestly.
Yeah. I've mentioned that to Cody before, like when him and I discuss death. It's a very sensitive topic, but I always tell him like, I would rather in the future, if we're still together, I die before you.
Yeah.
Because hell no, like I don't even know how people are living with the acceptance of that. It's very difficult, even though we do have the spiritual context in it. I just feel like I'll become so numb. I don't know what type of person I'll turn into.
Yeah. You just don't know, honestly.
Yeah.
And I guess that unknowing part is the scary part of it.
Yeah.
Because it's like, yeah, we are spiritual, but at the same time, we haven't experienced loss to that extent. So it's like, I don't know what I would become, you know, I don't know, like, you just don't know, honestly. It's hard still.
Yeah, it very much so is. To be honest, I think about death a lot.
Same, honestly.
So I always like, it's fucked up, guys, I know, but like I always try to imagine the worst case possible scenarios so I can already get my body like prepped for it.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, like I'm like, what if my mom dies? What if my dad dies? What if my siblings die? Like, and that shock in my body kind of like snaps me back to reality.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it reminds me that I need to actually stay close with people. I need to let go of things. I need to raise my vibrations higher so I can enjoy my time with these people before, God forbid, anything happens to them.
Yeah, exactly. Because I guess that is like, it's kind of overthinking in a way, you know? Because it's like, why make your body experience that if you don't have to go through that right now? I guess it's just about like staying in the moment with those people and like, you know, showing your love with those people and making sure that they feel loved and you feel love from them, and then you understand them and God forbid if they go one day, then at least like your relationship was good with them, you know, and you understand that it was their time, or if it wasn't their time, then you just go through the stages of grief and eventually accept it that it was their time, you know.
100%.
Yeah, but God, just take me first, though. Seriously.
That's not funny, but
no, like I
just
can't,
first,
because even like you said, like I be thinking about death, and like when I think about it, I just start like I can't, like my body's just in complete like shock. I'm just fucking bawling my eyes out, and then I just look at myself like, why the fuck am I doing this to myself?
Yeah.
Like, but that's what I'm saying. Like even just thinking about those situations, the way it makes us feel, I can't even imagine just being in that moment and actually experiencing it. You know?
Yeah.
That's why I'm just like, I'd rather not experience it, honestly. Just let me go first.
Yeah, I definitely hear that. I'll share another story. It's not really mine, but like Cody's grandmother passed away. I don't know if that was during COVID, like a year or 2 years ago, right?
I think it was.
Yeah, during COVID. And I remember we were driving to the cottage that weekend. It was Valentine's Day weekend, and like a Daniel Caesar song was playing, and it kind of had like a Jamaican tempo. It was like da, 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 or some shit like that, right? And I guess like hearing like the Jamaican like tempo in it, it just started making him bawl in the car.
Oh my God.
And I was almost crying, and I've only met this lady one time.
Yeah.
But the impact that I know, I'm literally getting goosebumps right now. The impact I know that she had on her family was insane.
Yeah.
Like everybody cherished this woman and viewed her so highly. She always came with jokes, banter, you know, like the traditional crazy Jamaican lady.
Yeah.
So like everybody held her so near and dear. And I got to experience her once. Thank you, God, for that one experience.
Facts.
At least I got to see her once in my own lifetime. But that effect was so crazy that I could feel like the multitude of that onto my body. And I damn near started crying too, fam.
Holy.
It was
the
insane.
energy. I'm
Yeah, it's
telling
the energy.
You just feel it. And I feel like grandmas are like a huge staple in people's
Oh my God,
families,
grandmas are
you
so
know?
important.
Yeah, it's like, I feel like sometimes they hold the family together, you know, like we all came from them, honestly, especially if you're a woman, you know?
Yeah.
So just feeling that, like, I can't even imagine how he had that memory just from that beat, and then he just linked it to her. Like, that's insane.
It was crazy.
Yeah, that's sad, man. I can't. Like, thinking about death just makes you so sad. Which is like, I don't know. Is it hypocritical? Because it's like the way we look at death and how we understand death is like, it's easier said than done, you know? But it's like when you actually experience it, it's like, fuck, like, why would I have to experience this? I don't want to have to go through this bullshit.
Yeah. Or even like when our friends tell us stories, like during the COVID time, a lot of my friends had experiences with death, whether it be like a sibling, a father, or just a parent in general. I'm saying father, like, you know, just one. But like they lost like just a lot of people in their lives. And I remember just like reaching out to people through Instagram, even people that I didn't follow, and it was just insane, right? And whenever I start those messages, I don't even know what to say to the person, right?
Yeah.
So I always start those messages like, I know that there's nothing I can say to you right now that's gonna help you cope with this. You've already heard a million rest in peace, my condolences, like there's nothing I can say to you other than like, I'm praying for you every single day that God is going to get you through this.
Yeah.
Because nothing I say to you is going to register right now. And I understand that. Like, I'm praying that God just covers you, puts his hands on you, and takes you through every single emotional fluctuation that you might be going through. I pray that work is good for you. I pray that your mental health is good. Like, I literally just pray for them, bro. I'll send them a long message of just me praying for them and how I'm letting them know that I cannot understand this.
Yeah.
Because people are going to be like, they're off to a better place and all this stuff. And even though we do have that spiritual view, we can still never conceptualize how another person is feeling because we don't feel that way.
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
And like maybe they don't have that view, you know? Maybe they view
Exactly.
it differently. So it's probably even harder on those people.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's a good point on like how to comfort people and how to like communicate with them when they are going through that time of grief and loss. Because like you said, like there's nothing you can really say to try and comfort that people. So it's like, what can you really do, you know? I guess, you know, she's a prayer warrior, y'all. Prayer warrior. I guess, of course, you like pray over them or pray over their family and pray over that loss. But like, say for example, like your friend is going through that or your family member and you kind of weren't close to that family member that passed away. Like, how do you comfort them? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, I guess you have to know who they are. Like, what would they need? I think it's important to just kind of just be there with them, even if it's not like discussing that situation, like I said with you, like just knowing that like you have that support there with you, and if you want to discuss it, that conversation is free to like happen, to allow. But I guess just being there and offering like your support, or maybe just like, I don't know, buying them their favorite meal that day. But I was saying, yeah, like maybe you can just buy them their favorite meal, go out with them, maybe just kind of console them, just be there for them, I think is the most important thing. Because sometimes when people are grieving, they kind of don't want to talk about it, or they're in that stage of denial where they're just numb and they don't know what the fuck is going on. So they just need like a helping hand, maybe can go over, clean their house for them, I don't know. I guess like you really have to know the person and what their needs are to really understand what that person needs in that time of grief and loss.
Yeah, I completely agree. Yeah. And before we wrap it up, I just want to like let you guys know, if you have experienced death, are experiencing death, dealing with the loss of yourself, a friend, your identity, a sibling, anybody, you know what I mean? You can lose anything, you can grieve anything in the past. I just want to let you know that as long as you have something to believe in, there is hope. And I'm praying for all of you guys, and I'm manifesting good energy onto all of you. And I want you guys to know that you need to have faith. It's not going to be easy. You're going to wake up hurting. You probably, if you are dealing with grief, some of the words that you are hearing through this podcast are probably not even going to register.
Yeah, that's true.
You know what I mean? But love yourself and take it easy every single day. Just remember, every single day is step by step, day by day. And 1 month, 2 months, even a whole damn year does not need to look perfect. But just remember that that person loves you, and you're doing a favor to yourself by honoring this person, by upkeeping with yourself.
Exactly. Because I'm sure that's exactly what that person would have wanted, you know? And you know, they probably are watching you from the other side, and they probably are trying to guide you. So I guess really you just have to live like in the present moment. Like you said, take it day by day, do what you can in the day. Don't go to work, don't go to school, like, you know, kind of take a step back and like accept your emotions and really feel your feelings, you know, because you need that space to go through all the stages of grief, be angry, sad, happy, whatever it is, you know. 100. But it is a long process, but just know that like you, like at the end you will accept it, you know what I mean? And I guess like, do you think some people don't get to that acceptance stage?
Some people may never get to that stage, but if you believe in God, maybe you're atheist, I don't know, but just if you believe in spirituality in general, just know, even if you don't accept it, that person is always going to be near you. Exactly. They're always going to be near you. They have never left. In fact, you're closer to their energy more than ever. Yeah. Because now they can be roaming near you wherever you go.
Yeah, facts. We're connected, bro.
Yeah, period.
They never leave you. They're in the stars, yo. Yo, I swear I can quote Janae every fucking episode. Yo, Promises by Janae, I'm telling you, if you're going through grief, just listen to that. It will get you through it for sure.
Yeah. Oh, no, Promises makes me cry.
Fam, it goes, that whole album, I just don't know what it is. Like, she just went in.
She really
but
did.
It's so good. And then you hear her little daughter, I gotta get, like, she just goes in. It's so cute. But it definitely, like, her words, like, you feel it, you know? You really understand what she's saying. And she's saying, like, you know, she's never gonna leave you. Like, I'm always gonna be in the stars. I'm always gonna be here. So, like Ramona said, like, just know that they will always be near you. And even though, like, you can't see them physically, you know, just know that they're there.
100%.
Yeah. But yeah.
And sending love to you guys, period.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if you are going through grief and loss at this moment, we are sending love and good energy and positive vibrations to you. We hope you're getting through it and you're coming out on the acceptance stage soon enough. But we love y'all.
Period.
If you enjoyed episode 10, Coping with Grief and Loss, you can listen to the remaining episode on any podcast distributor. Bye, y'all.